At full time, injury time beckoned when Cristiano Ronaldo netted the winner. 1 goal the difference, as it has been for Scotland in all the games so far. Flew out the traps in Estadio da Luz. They did build a habit of that at the start of the last campaign. Early goals against Cyprus, Spain here as well, Georgia before the players went in for the rain delay. Started well against Switzerland in the Euros, Charlie. Started well against Portugal away. Is that something you'd like to see from Scotland this evening?
It's a good start so far. The game's just underway, but we're having a bit of possession. We got the ball early in Portugal's half, and it looks like they're allowing us to have it around about the halfway line. So hopefully we can get people in the positions to hurt them and to control by a bit of possession. Just to say that, Grant Hanley kicks one out of play and gives it back to Portugal. So
Steve Clark says there's no issue with player morale. He did make a comment about the strength of the squad in general. There are a host of players out at the moment. McGinn, Jack Hendry at the back, Aaron Hickey at right back, Lewis Ferguson.
I don't think you can underestimate that either. I mean, John McGinn's been a huge player for Scotland recently, and not to have him in the pitch is a massive loss.
Roberto Martinez has spent time in Scotland as a Motherwell player. It's his Scottish wife as well. He has won heavily at Hampden a few times back when he was Belgian manager. A few 4-0 wins here, as the baton was handed between Alex McLeish and Steve Clark. Sean Maloney was one of his assistants back then. There's Cristiano Ronaldo with time to turn. Kenny McClay swarms him. I think it's, I wonder if it had been a foul, but yeah, throw in. Looks like Ben Doak starting on the left, Charlie, with Ryan Christie on the right. That's a change to the starting lineup in Zagreb on Saturday.
Yeah, interesting. I wonder what he's thinking is behind that, but here we go.
It's a loose one though when it comes to Shea Adams, who looks to play in Ralston. It comes to McTominay. It's Ralston who's been penalised rather than vice versa, as Portugal breathe a slight sigh of relief.
Just to come back to your point there, Andy, I'm interested to see Ben Doak on the left, because Kinsale likes to join in on the right hand side, so hopefully he can exploit that with his pace. He's a very, very fast player, and hopefully we can see that tonight.
This is Antonio Silva, number 4 for Portugal, a very highly rated centre half coming through at Benfica, just 20 years old. Another one that I'm sure they'll sell for 60, 70, 80 million in the near future. Here's Vitinha, slight centre mid, looking to drop one in behind for Conceição, and Craig Gordon always looked comfortable.
Looks like in possession, they're pushing the 2 full-backs on. Jan Cancelo on the right side, he's pushing right on high, and they're kind of building with a 3 with one of the centre mids drop in, so it's interesting to see how that develops, but it's a nice quick free kick.
Yeah, McLean in a hurry for Ben Doak. Portugal back in numbers. The winger seeks Robertson's help. Into McTominay!
Oh, it's a chance. It's a great chance.
Not too far from where he buried it in Lisbon. All on his own in the Portuguese 18.
It's
Scott McTominay unable to find the corner.
Oh, it's a man Ben Doak we spoke about on the left-hand side, does well. Pushes Portugal back, Andy Robertson backs him up. It's a great ball across, and he'll not get a better chance than that. He's got to put more power on it. The only thing I would say to back him up is there's not a lot of power on the ball, so he has to generate it all himself. If he doesn't quite get enough on it, the keeper's right down the keeper's throat.
Well, Scotland in Portuguese faces early. That was one of the criticisms in the Hungary game before Scotland were confirmed as out in the Euros. Sitting back and not trying to take the game to their opponents. but it has worked.
It's interesting, Portugal, they started with a back four, but they're building in a three. They've got two centre-halves and they've got a midfielder dropping in. So they're like a 3-3-4 in possession. They're pushing their two full-backs on really high. It's interesting to see. It's allowing them to play because they're dictating where the Scottish players go, because they're affecting them when they're positioning. Not causing any problems so far, right enough.
Yeah, Scotland playing with a back four tonight as well. Almost man for man up there as Conceição lays it off for Ronaldo. Ruben Diaz for Nuno Mendes, the PSG left back. He's recovered back to full fitness after missing the majority of last season with that hamstring injury. It's a wonderful clip which goes over Ronaldo's heads, and Craig Gordon with another comfortable take.
Yes, it's a great chance for McTominay. I mean, he won't get much better than that tonight. I don't think it's a great chance, but listen, early on in the game, encouraging signs, so hopefully we can keep that going. Some nice play there for the back, building out.
John Sitter happy to participate. No way forward this time. And long as Grant Hanley comes up a blind alley. Oh, Gilmore has to be checking his wing mirror with Diogo Jota lurking. Christie for McTominay, whose legs are long enough. The bounce of the ball belongs to Diaz.
Scotland just going into a 4-4-2 when they're out of possession, blocking the centre of the pitch, kind of allowing it to go wide. The only problem is the wing back. The wingers, Doak and Christie, don't know whether they follow the wing back or push onto the three that are building. One of the centre backs, the midfielder. You want them to stay high on the pitch, don't want them to collapse back into a back six, because that's where Portugal control the game.
Once again, the Portuguese can't keep it, and Scotland return the favour. Here's Jota, his touch is a tad heavy, breaks to Mendes, Ronaldo takes over. First on target, Craig Gordon equal to it.
Yeah, good save, safe hands for Craig Gordon. It's good to see him back playing after that injury and working his way back into the squad. Good save, good safe hands there.
It's just generally accepted as Scotland days were over after the pre-Euros friendly against Finland. Got his substitute appearance, his send-off, Gun's injury. And to be fair, Gordon taking the gloves back from Zander Clark at Hearts, and Liam Kelly happy as number 2 at Rangers. That's not out in Gordon's favour for a few more. McTominay's got the strength. He wants Christie.
Good touch.
Christie for Ralston, and the deflection is kind for Costa. Shea Adams was in there.
It's great play again. McTominay, brilliant at the heart, it wins it, takes it down, fires it to Christie. What a touch this is. First touch, great overlap. And it's just the final ball's a bit unlucky. Saw Shea Adams, but he'd moved by the time he looked up, and it was blocked by Portugal's centre half. This is what I'd like to see Scotland getting up and getting after them in their final thirds. 80 yards for their own goal. Can we go and win it and nick it up in this half? I think it's a bit too easy for Portugal to get control and force us back to our own half.
Fernandes drifting wide as well. United midfielder to Liverpool forwards. But Jota was misbehaving. John Sitter wins the foul.
Yeah, just a wee push when he jumped there. Wee hand on the back's enough to just put you off balance when you've jumped. Definite foul.
McLean begging Ralston to create the angle, which he obliges.
Well done, they get to the other side. That's good play, well done.
Gilmore for Robertson. we've seen many times, Charlie, Scotland are comfortable in possession. The odd pass will go straight, can't always be perfect, there's an example of it, but the composure that they show normally is pretty good. Ronaldo lines one up from distance now, he opts to go wide to Conceição. Alarm bells ringing now for the Scots. Ralston can't get it clear, but he gets enough on it to knock it behind, and it's been given as a Portuguese corner. There are a few arms outstretched in the box there. Jota mainly looking in the direction of Lawrence Visser, the referee.
No, never as good defending for Ralston. He gets initially on the wrong side of Ralston, but he manages to recover using a bit of strength and gets his head in there. It's a good header, good defensive header, no chance of foul. Scotland get 3 or 4 zonal players in there and then pick up the main players. Obviously Ronaldo's picked up by Suter.
Yeah, Ronaldo looking braced for the arrival to meet the flight. As Fernandes delivers, Gordon and McTominay conspire to some degree of success.
Yeah, looks like he's tried to put it straight on top of the goalkeeper. Gordon does well, punches it clear. Took a knock in the elbow, but he'll be alright.
McTominay did offer a hand, an apology as the ball rolled to safety. A bit of Portuguese possession now. So, Francisco Conceição, son of former Portuguese international Sergio. He was also his boss at Porto for a stage before he moved to Juventus. He receives from Cancelo. Vitinha.
This is a difference, I think, between Scotland and Portugal. Is you see people between the lines here that affect Scotland's midfield because they give the defence a problem, they give the midfield a problem, so it pins them back and allows Portugal to have control. I think Scotland can be a bit better at that when they get possession.
Palhinha's taking it straight back from Shea Adams. Cancelo with Robertson in his way, and that is an efficient barrier for Scotland. Bruno Fernandes, the trusted taker on either side. Vitinha, the decoy. Mendes. Take 2 for the left back. Ralston unmoved. Cancelo, the right back in centre mid, sprays it for Conceição. Always looking to drift in. Jota can't get the touch, and Ryan Christie got something on it.
Great ball there for Conceição, comes inside his left foot. That ball there is really hard to defend. It's just a wee bit high, and Ralston does well in the end. Is it Christie? Christie gets back in there and defends it well, so yeah, they're looking more threatening now, Portugal.
Yeah, a little flurry of opportunities from the quadrant here. Bruno Fernandes again. Another training ground move which breaks Gilmore's way, and he's asking Ben Doak to get on his bike. He always looks second favourite. Disappointing Euros for Scotland. It was disappointing for Portugal as well. Won their first 2 group games against Czech Republic and Turkey. lost to Georgia in their third group game, but they were safely through it. Edged past Slovenia on penalties, and then knocked out by France in the same fashion. 0-0 draws in the knockouts only. That's Cancelo. Jota the target again. Vitinha takes over. Cancelo. And Allison literally in where it hurts. And that's good enough for Scotland for a quick breather.
Yeah, good block and then good defending for Andy Robertson. Blocks it well there and then Brave goes and heads it. Brilliant. This is where we can have a wee bit. We've had a wee spell there under the cosh, getting chance after chance or cross after cross into the box, couple of corners. Can we now have a bit of possession? And I think the vital thing for me, Andy, is getting people between the lines, in between Portugal's midfield and defence, to cause them a bit of bother in terms of the midfielders don't know whether to go back and the defenders don't know whether to jump up, and can have a bit of possession. But I think that can help us get a bit of control, although we have started the game not too bad.
Adams taking a roll, but it wasn't the shove. I think it's the control with the arm, as accidental as it may have been. 3 goals in 7 Serie A games so far for Shea Adams, and another in the Coppa Italia. Good start to life in Italy. A good few of the boys over there now. 2 of them behind him in midfield tonight. Gilmore and McTominay, clubmates in Naples. Lewis Ferguson hinting that he'll be back to fitness and fit enough to play anyway around about a month from now, after his ACL rupture earlier this year. It's Diaz, former Premier League Player of the Year. Ralston didn't even have to jump, but Jota has kept a close eye on him. I think he's going to end up in the book here, with Ryan Christie in a heap.
Yeah, I think he just catches on top of the foot, he studs by the looks of it. I don't know if it was a foul, but yeah, it's a bit of a stamp on his ankle, aye. I'm not sure about a yellow, but it's a foul.
Sore one.
It's a sore one to take. It is. He's went to get the ball and he stamped on his foot. That can happen. Wouldn't it have been a foul years ago, or even a yellow card? But these days you can't just stamp on, accidental or not, you can't just stamp on people's feet or ankles.
Christie seems all right. He'll be in the mix to collect a knockdown here if this goes Scotland's way. Adams does well to fend off Diaz initially.
So that was a foul.
Christie's in and he wins the foul this time. Not sure if it's for the foul on Christie or Adams before that. Doesn't take much for Cristiano Ronaldo to give his opinion. I think he's earned the right.
That's a high line for Portugal.
Robertson's ball, which comes to Christie! Oh, it was begging to be struck. Laces and all, but just straight down Costa's throat.
It's another half chance, Andy. It's felt him perfectly right in the edge of the box. You'll not be happy with the contact they made there. That was a chance.
He's hunting Mendes here, and I think Ryan Christie could well end up with a yellow to his name here. I cannot believe he hasn't. Roberto Martinez is the one who's got something to say about that this time. Oak. Too much on Conceição. To João Palhinha, who eventually got his move to Bayern Munich this summer. He was over in Bavaria in January. Just needed to dot the I's and cross the T's, and everything fell apart at the last minute. They returned and got their man. It's a good one of these everyday 50 million moves you see, Charlie.
Going back to the Scotland shape there, I was just going to say it's a great compact 4-4-2 shape. Nothing through the middle, forcing them wide. You might have spells out of possession, but they're not really going anywhere. It's been a decent shape so far. Distances are good. Not a lot of space in the middle of the pitch, but Portugal want to get their players on it.
Robertson springs into action. Gave Doak a bit of work to do. Vitinha in behind, and Robertson recovers superbly. McTominay. The athleticism to get away from one, but outnumbered. Scotland giving a good account of themselves in the opening half of the first half. 1-0 down to Poland at this stage on the first match day. That game was their first competitive home defeat in 5 years. Under Steve Clarke, Scotland have been reliable at Hampden. They weren't far away in the away games so far in this group. Last minute agony both sides of the coin. In Lisbon, first of all with Ronaldo's winner, and then Adams' equaliser ruled out in Zagreb.
I don't think this is going to hurt us. This Portugal just having the ball at the halfway line. I think if we just keep moving in our shape and be patient out of possession, we can control the game and control the areas that Portugal go, denying them space in behind and letting them play in front of us and round the side of us. The problem is when they beat a man. The problem is when they beat a man or the ball breaks the middle of the pitch. Can we win the balls and kind of smooth the game out by keeping the ball?
That's Christie's second. It might even be his third, but he gets away with it again. He's in a game with Mendes here, though, Ryan Christie. I wonder if the attacking prowess of Mendes had an impact on Clarke opting to play Christie on the right instead of Doak for any.
Yeah, that's a good shout, Andy. I think that's probably what's happened. Rather than me looking from an attacking point of view, I think he's probably thought about that attacking threat and pace down the side, knowing Christie works hard. He's already showed that in the game so far, but getting back and having a good defensive header.
Mendes a candidate here, Fernandes likewise. It's Mendes, and it's over Jota and over Diaz, who should retrieve. Antonio Silva to Vitinha. Conceição, they're keen to feed him. Oh, Ralston. Looks pretty cut and dry from here.
Yeah, it's a foul. Ralston just got a wee bit too eager there and dived in.
Hook line, Conceição has got that trickery. Scored an unbelievable goal against Leipzig in the Champions League this season to snatch 3 points for Juventus from 2-0 down. Really exciting young player for the Portuguese.
Yeah, it looks like he's all left foot as well. We need to keep him going down that right on his right foot and let him cross it with that, or at least get tighter. Don't let him come inside in that left foot. He's already showed how dangerous it can be.
Well, there's danger written all over this with Mendes braced and Gordon Gets the palm strong enough.
Yeah, you'd expect him to save that.
Fernandes again to Portugal. Have another training ground move up their sleeve here. They go deep. Kenny McLean read the flight to the letter. Fernandes might have been the original target, and Jota doesn't have enough fuel in the tank. Normally, Cristiano Ronaldo's understudy, Diogo Jota. They do have an incredible amount of strength on the bench, Portugal, with players like Rafael in there.
Oh.
Let's see what happens to Scotland Tommy here. It's the yellow card that is in the hands of the referee, Lawrence Visser.
I feared from there, first viewing for me, it looked like two-footed off the deck, but let's have a look back. Oh no, it's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. He's won the ball, he's on the ground, it's no dangerous. I don't see anything wrong with that.
It's interesting though, as soon, even as the contact with the ball and subsequently Portuguese player's foot is made, McTominay knows he's on thin ice. The innocent hands are up by the shoulders.
Yeah, I think there's a wee bit of stud showing, but I mean, he's low enough and it's not too much force.
Oh, well, that didn't go to plan. Can Scotland take advantage? Here's Doak.
Don't see that
Wants
often.
to get away from Mendes, but one's lightning quick and so's the other.
What's happened there? The two of them went to kick at the same time.
With the Thierry Henry, Robert Pires situation years ago. There's Cancelo, who is actually playing at right back this evening. Looks like he's everywhere but at the moment.
Yeah, when Cancelo goes wide, he comes inside. As I said before, they build with a back three. I think that's probably because they saw Scotland maybe in a 4-4-2 as they press or as they sit in a shape, and three allows them to build and get that extra man to push, he step into the game, create the overload. This is better for Scotland getting up higher. I think they should get after them now. Get after them and keep them up there, because it's 80 yards for your goal. Got to push right in there and make them kick it, and that suits us. Now can we pick up the first and second ball? Offside. Offside, that's better, much better. If we can make Portugal kick the ball long, I think it plays into our hands, because we've got players that are more suited to that style of play, and then we can pick it up and play from there.
Ralston's little drop of the shoulder away from Jota, and Shea Adams fancies a run in the channel. McLean thinks once and against it for a second time. Ralston accepting the foul quite happily. The ricochet touch made it a 50-50. Are you happy with Scotland's composure and possession so far, Charlie? What are we now, almost half an hour in?
Yeah, it's probably better than expected, even though we can be better. We've had a couple of spells in possession where we've looked to pass it, and the only thing, as I said before, is if we can keep people between the lines like Christie is just now, that's something I think we're looking for. We must have worked on that. The big switch out to Doak, that's Suter done it. Kenny McLean's tried it twice. Must be something we've kind of, Steve Clark might have looked at to exploit. Listen, there's been some positives in possession. Can we be better? Of course. But so far there's been no real threat for Portugal, and we've had a couple of chances, so we can be pleased with our start.
The best chance of the game has been a Scottish one. Scott McTominay's header in the first 5 minutes. 6-7 yards out into the arms of Diogo Costa.
That's not a foul, that. The referee's giving too many, constantly giving fouls. That looks like he got the ball clean.
They're not hanging around the Portuguese. Coutinho. Conceição again, he's their man in attack at the moment. Cancelo's ball. Jota's in there, so is Ronaldo. It's either a
another foul
free
he's
kick.
gave. Does he give a foul for the overhead kick?
Let's see.
How is that a foul?
Just waiting to see where Gordon places the ball here. Yeah, it doesn't look like a goal kick. He's quite right, I think, to be a bit confused, Cristiano Ronaldo. Gilmore's pretty small as it is and was stiffing. Either way, wide and still level here at Hampden. Bruno Fernandes with the effortless strength to see off Ralston. Coutinho with his opposite number McLean arriving. They're so sharp, so willing, the Portuguese. Fernandes looks for Conceição again. It's easy for Kenny McLean. He doesn't have all day. But it's a Scotland ball.
Decent there for Kenny McLean, breaks up the play, travels with it, gets us up the pitch, gets us a throw in, gives us a chance to have a bit of possession again.
There's a gap in midfield there for someone to make the most of for Scotland with Cal McGregor's retirement. I suppose Lewis Ferguson coming back to fitness might feel he could take that jersey. Maybe when John McGinn's fit again, there'll be a reshuffle. But McLean's a constant for Scotland. Coutinho. Conceição. He's got the quick feet to scamper. Cancelo back to him. Ronaldo's in. It came off Grant Hanley. It looked like Ronaldo was immediately signalling for a handball, but that claim, I think, has been ignored by the referee and his teammates.
Was it Hanley or was it Stewart? It was great defending in the end. He got really tight to Ronaldo and never allowed him a clean header on goal.
Conceição again, his heat map must be burning. Once again, they're keen to work it over to the Juventus winger. Robertson reads it well, and just a couple of rotations too many. Mendes. That should entice Gilmore, who's reversed with red. And Craig Gordon, just... and no more. A few rather needless palpitations.
Good talking for Craig Gordon. You can hear him screaming for here. Make sure the defender gets out of the way, save any confusion. Good goalkeeping.
Vitinha grabbing the midfield by the scruff as Jota feeds Conceição, who's got Cancelo. His cross earns Portugal a corner.
Good defending again for Robertson, blocks across. They play through the middle this time, but Scotland are trying to avoid an overlap. He gets there, well done. Good defending for Andy Robertson.
Scotland have conceded 35 goals in this year-long run. Holding Portugal at arm's length at the moment with under 10 to the break now. Portuguese certainly aren't in a hurry to cross from wide areas. Cancelo might fancy one here. Shown wide by Ralston and sitting away. Christie tying himself in a knot, and here's Fernandez. Lovely cross from Fernandez. Mendes, Jota. The deflection helps Craig Gordon.
Scotland have been brilliant so far defending their box. Great header here. Fisuter just before that, great block there for Suter, brilliant. Defending the box really well. He headed one just before that, cleared the box. They're going to have to do that. If you're showing teams wide and you're not letting them through the middle, you have to defend your box well. You have to get numbers round the penalty spot and head away and pick up second balls. This is where I think Scotland can get after them and not give them that second to... The last thing Portugal want at the moment is to be pressed high. You need to push somebody onto the midfielder, you need to push somebody onto the goalie. This is where we can get after them. If we push right up, there we go, we get the ball back, brilliant.
Kenny McLean with his periscope up. Asking a lot of a 10-foot tall Ben Doak.
Listen, you want a bit more quality there, but the fact that we're pressing them up high is in these stages is much better. It allows us to win the ball in their attacking third, and it's probably our best chance of scoring, winning the ball and then going and creating for there when they're disorganised. Now we can go again. I think we need to get right up and make them kick it long. They don't want to kick it long, they'll kick it straight to us. Brilliant.
Christie on the half turn. Needed a few blue shots arriving.
Well done, Suter.
Ralston will head on the underlap here.
Yeah. He could have played Ralston there, but I don't mind the patience, it's fine. Let's have a spell and set up our attacks. Now we need to get back. This is the danger, the break.
Well, we're kept in by Cancelo. Hanley reads it well, and McTominay.
Hanley. It's a foul.
And McLean do just enough. The Portuguese can't believe it.
Good spell of pressing there for Scotland on the front foot.
You think that was a foul, Charlie?
Never a foul, but we'll take it. He's gave enough bad decisions. We're due one or two.
I think for Roberto Martinez there, just saw it's an opportunity that he's admitted he's keen to use to try and increase the depth of his squad ahead of the World Cup qualifiers next year. To have players like Conceição coming through, another cap afforded to João Palhinha, who's no young, he's 30 on his next birthday.
That's late. This is
Portugal survive. There's Fernandez looking for Mendes. Vitinha. Conceição, Akers. Caught in two minds perhaps with Fernandes and Paulinho there. Bendot looks to bring it away, but intercepted by Paulinho. Vitinha, Ronaldo. Chalk that up as one.
Yeah, it's good defending. We win the ball, that's the danger. Then you win it and you've got nobody up top to kind of play to. You then try to have a few passes, they win it again and you're a bit disorganised. So, but I don't think they've had many shots on target, have they, Andy? I don't recall any real dangerous moments. I think they've defended well and been pretty solid and compact.
Christie tries him out, can't.
In saying that, you don't want Ronaldo taking too many shots for inside your box, because inevitably one of them will end up in the back of your net. This is the difference for me when Portugal have the ball. They've got players, you see Fernandes between the lines, in between the defence and the midfield. You've got players between the strikers and the midfield, and it causes problems. It pins Scotland back and allows the defenders to have the ball and move it patiently. It's important Scotland don't let the ball come through though and let them force it wide like they've been doing. They've been doing it brilliantly.
Vitinha for Paulinho.
Forced to long balls as well. By the time it travels, you can adjust and move as a unit.
Ronaldo dropping deep. Diaz comfortable on both feet. Bruno Fernandes. Hanley needs no invitation to put his foot through that. Paulinho looking for Conceição again. Vitinha assessing, no way through. Mendes always an option. Paulinho. Scotland edging further and further back here with half-time approaching. That'll be kept in, and it's over Gordon. Vitinha.
Good header again for Ralston. In the moments, your centre-halves, your full-backs, your defenders need to be 100% concentrated and defend your box. Great header for Ralston, just over Suter, and Ralston's there.
Yeah, for Ronaldo arriving. I think that was how Scotland lost the game in Lisbon. In the last minute lapse in concentration allowed Ronaldo to break free, tap the ball home from just a few yards. Gilmore has to be quick. McTominay, he was sharp in the first instance. That's a loose one, and Ronaldo has a hole in his boot.
Do you often see that for Ronaldo, starting a motorbike? I've done it plenty of times, but you don't see it for him.
You didn't score 900 goals, did you?
Don't know if I scored 9.
.30 seconds to Scotland get in at the break with a clean sheet intact and still well in this game. The point wouldn't stop the rot in terms of the numbers that are being banded around. 1 win in 16 it would be with a draw, but it would change the moods. Portugal might fancy one last foray here before the whistle. they get to the brink of the third, and that's that. And Scotland are applauded off the Hampden turf. A very competitive opening 45. Scott McTominay may well reflect on his header in the first 5 minutes, which went straight into the arms of Costa. Ronaldo's had a couple of half chances, nothing more than that. And at 0-0, this is the type of competitive performance fans have been craving after a dreadful run of results. At half-time at Hampden, it's Scotland 0, Portugal 0.
Yeah, good solid performance for Scotland. They were brilliant there.
International, I was going to say centre-back, but I suppose you were more than that. Left-back, centre-mid, left-mid on occasion as well.
I played a few different positions I did at club level. Jack of all trades, master of none.
Charlie, Scotland International, bottom line, alongside myself, Andy Barge, for second half action at Hampden, which begins with Ryan Christie sent tumbling. He was given a task in the first half, Ryan Christie having to track Nuno Mendes up and down the left flank. The Portuguese fullbacks are pushing high. He's the target of John Sutter's ball, which doesn't quite carry the accuracy he'd hoped.
It's going to be interesting to see this second half, to see what Steve Clarke said, to see if we end up collapsing back into our own half and conceding possession, trying to hang on for a draw or nick one on the break.
Scotland are on a run of 9 competitive games without a win. It's their worst run of all time in that regard. It was around this time last year that Scotland went to Spain with everyone fully believing they could and maybe even would beat the future European champions, although we didn't know it at the time. And may well have, had Jack Hendry not been an inch offside and then allegedly interfering with the goalkeeper. That's Scott McTominay rifled home a free kick.
McTominay's got to go. We need to keep them in here and make them kick it long. As soon as they kick long, that's success for Scotland. Can we pick up seconds like this, and now we can play?
No. Robertson and Gilmour on different waves, and here's Jota for Portugal. This is ominous for the Scots. Ronaldo's loitering, and with all the time in the world, Cristiano Ronaldo goes for the diving header and misses the target.
It's a great chance. He did not want it to fall with Ronaldo, but thankfully he's put it over the bar. Good ball over the top, clip back, point blank header. He's got a free header for the penalty spot. See, I like the press, I like getting us up there, and then when we win it, we need to have 2 or 3 passes to gain a bit of control in the game. The minute you lose it, you're disorganised because you've been pressing high, you're stretched, there's gaps. You need to smooth it out with 2 or 3 passes. Good touch for Gilmour, good pass.
Dock for McTominay, who's trying to fend off some interest from Conceição. Has that gone Scotland's way?
He's gave another foul.
Wow. You can understand Roberto Martinez's frustration.
Well done, that's nice.
Pops it for Ralston.
This is where we need to keep a bit of control as well. No need to force it. Well done.
Gilmour. He's comfortable in that kind of space. He's comfortable. Space is a lot tighter. Always demanding for Steve Clarke. See an outstretched arm, maybe asking for a bit of movement or a few more options on the left. Comes to Robertson now for Doak, who's having to show short mainly rather than get in behind. He's running away here, and that'll be a free kick because Jacques Paulinho picks up pretty much customary yellow cards. Nobody received more in the Premier League last season than him.
That's the first wee run with Sophie for Ben Doak, using his pace, got us a free kick. They get him on the ball more in higher positions.
It's just the drop of the shoulder and the acceleration that isn't too frequent in the Scottish squads. There's been a dearth of wingers for 4 or 5 years now at least. Billy Gilmore is the leading candidate, but Robertson is the one.
What a ball that is.
I think it's a free kick rather than offside. It was a tempting cross, that's for sure. Cancelo in the team today ahead of Diogo Dalot. He's made the right-back position his own at Portugal. Conceição believes the whistle should have gone. Doak doing something, anything to keep it in Scottish colours, but Conceição reverses it for Ronaldo, who gives it back to him, and that is a waste. A huge waste from the Juventus winger, who has looked lively from the get-go. That's his first clear sight of goal.
Yeah, it's poor play for Doak. He takes the ball and tries to pass it inside, sets him through, and we're really lucky not to be behind after that.
5 minutes, just over that, into the second half. 2 huge let-offs for Scotland. Ronaldo and Conceição over the bar.
That's not great for Grant Hanley. If you get any chance of having a bit of possession, you can't play a diagonal pass for a centre-back to a full-back. That's just a pressing trap. They get up, and if Ralston gets a grip of the ball, he's under too much pressure to play. We need to play shorter passes. Stand in the right areas.
Silva for Conceição again. Space in behind for the winger. McLean knows he's got half a second to spare. It's a foul, and he's caught pretty abruptly by Cancelo as he wound up the switch of play for Christie.
Yeah, it's a clear foul. He's tried to play Ryan Christie, who was totally was in down the right-hand side.
Gordon with his binoculars out here, looks like Shea Adams might be the target. Nothing going short for Scotland. That's no issue for Ruben Diaz whatsoever. Robertson drags Conceição, and here's Doak, wants it again. McLean, have that, Robertson. Controlled brilliantly. Adams, just out of reach. Well, the north and west stand corner are convinced that should have been a Scotland ball one way or the other. I'd actually initially think the free kick would be Portugal's. Oh, he's dived. Ronaldo with Kenny McLean hunting him. Ben Doak now. Well, don't think they play to the whistle in Madeira.
Coutinho. That's well worked, and Mendes gives it to Fernandes. Mendes again. Thinks once, twice. Ralston's no match for him.
Balls away.
And Anthony Ralston opts not to leave his leg in. And that is very much to Scotland's benefit, because any contact, and that's a pretty simple decision for Lawrence Visser. Shea Adams sniffing something which is controlled by Fernandes. Now Conceição after Robertson lunged. Took away.
Robertson done well to recover there and get the block. Last thing you want is to be backing inside your box with Conceição running at you at pace, but Robertson done well to block it.
Scotland's qualification campaign was impressive for the Euros. Portugal won all 10 of their games, scored the most, conceded the fewest. It was the actual tournament itself, which, a bit like Scotland, was a damn squib. Sitter for McTominay.
Position for McTominay.
Scotland flooding forward here. McTominay for Christie.
Oh,
he was looking for Robertson. Doak on hand too, and Portugal clear.
It's unlucky. It's a great position for McTominay in between the lines. It's really good pass for Suter on the half turn, and things open up a wee bit. It's no coincidence when we get people between the lines, it causes borders. It allows you to have possession, and you can fire it through there, and it really is a problem for defenders and midfielders.
Fernandes trying to drop it for Conceição. Ben Doak strains his neck muscles. Conceição. Inadvertent 1-2. Hanley in the way this time.
He looks lively, doesn't he? Conceição, his name is. Absolutely. Wiry, quick, shut-up player, left-footed, can go inside or outside. Looks lively, looks like a threat.
Ronaldo and Fernandes talking with their eyes. I think the noise made that sound scarier than reality. Craig Gordon certainly was nonplussed. McLean looks for McTominay. Some of the players Portugal have on their bench, Bernardo Silva, one of them, alongside João Felix, Rafael, João Neves, very promising centre mids, plays for PSG. Robertson, after some good work, goes long. Down below us, former Wolves midfielder Ruben Neves is braced to enter the fray. And Rafa Leao as well has just appeared, so triple change coming for the Portuguese. Ralston in a couple of minds here, but he does well to seek Suter. Nice telegraph for Ruben Diaz, who hesitates himself. And Shea Adams deciding that was a foul, which is met by the referee's whistle. I always find that a strange phenomenon in football now. Players deciding themselves that they'll stop the game. Okay, here come the Portuguese changes then. Diogo Jota heading off. He is on a yellow card, as is João Palhinha. And Conceição, who's been the liveliest threat, departs as well.
Not a bad three to bring on, is it?
Yeah, Ruben Neves and Saudi now. Ronaldo Silva.
What a player
His place on the right. Charlie, I think Leao on the left.
Silva's a great player, picks up some great areas. I imagine him having an effect in this game.
And for cap number 97 for Ronaldo Silva.
Good position, Kenny McLean.
Robertson for Doak, who was flanked efficiently by Cancelo. Hampden's found his voice as Rafael Leao stretches his legs. That was an amazing run that he made against Poland at the weekend from the halfway into the box. Shot struck the post. Ronaldo tucked away the rebound. There's Robertson, urged on. Somehow, for a second. Silva on for Fernandes. McLean. It's back to help out. Here's McTominay. Christie. Hauling down Fernandes. He's now trying to atone. Portugal back from where they started. Vitinha. Ronaldo Silva off the bench. He'll probably be happy for the rest. He's been moaning pretty publicly lately about the schedule the top-level footballers have to deal with these days. Cancelo. Portuguese probe, and Ben Doak keeps his end of the bargain brilliantly initially. Here's Neves looking for Ronaldo. Ralston has to be quick here with Leao loitering. No whistle. Portugal come again. Leao, McLean and Ralston. 2 hurdles too many. And it's starting to become a bit relentless, Charlie.
Yeah, it is. The interesting thing is, as soon as they lose the ball, they're instantly winning it back. Scotland are so deep that they can't get out, so they don't have that outlet to pass or make a couple of passes. So it's really difficult to get out. The interesting thing for me as well, when you see Bernardo Silva taking up that high and wide position.
Ronaldo's through. Hanley steps across him.
Win it straight back, because they're in a position, They're close together, they're positioned well, so they can instantly win it back as soon as they lose it.
Leao gets past Christie, Ronaldo's there.
Scotland.
The dummy allows it to come to Gilmore, and he's got the composure to play McLean, who will look for the free kick, win it, and give Scotland a bit of a breather.
Scotland had 9 players inside their, well, 10 players including the goalkeeper inside their box there, so brilliant play for Kenny McLean, breaking away and getting the foul, but I feel sorry for him next. He doesn't really have an option. That's the only thing he can do, and he buys the foul well, let Scotland get a bit of a breather. A couple of changes coming. But as I was saying earlier, Bernardo Silva's tucking inside on the right-hand side. Cancelo's then giving off on the width, and then when Bernardo Silva comes out and off of the width, Cancelo goes inside, right inside the pitch. It's interesting to see how they open up the passing angles.
Ryan Gauld and Lewis Morgan readied. Wonder if that will be the end of Ben Doak's evening, perhaps Christie on the right as well. Did well off the bench at the weekend. Ryan Gauld. There's McTominay in behind. That's a Scotland corner.
Good play, McTominay, good ball down the side. Gets the corner.
Well, on nights like these, it doesn't take much to energise the Hampden crowds. There, 40 forward, and an opportunity to land one on the Portuguese will do the trick. It's Andy Robertson with the responsibility. Hanley's up, and Portugal thump clear. I think the foul has actually been given against Hanley on Costa.
Scotland after 66 minutes. First of all, is number 17, Ben Doak.
So young Ben Doak tonight making history as the first 18-year-old to start back-to-back games for Scotland since 1983. Comes off to be replaced by Lewis Morgan. A surprise inclusion in the Euro squad in the summer. He has near enough half an hour here to make a difference. He's in brilliant form over there this season, 13 goals in MLS. And Ryan Gauld, he spent 7 years in Portugal, playing for Farense among others, moving from Dundee United to Sporting. As a teenager, actually made his debut for the Sporting B team as a sub for João Palhinha. He was subbed off slightly earlier.
Scotland are much better when we press up high in their defensive third. Gives us a chance to win the ball up high.
Robertson breaking the ball, might go his way here. That spin nullifies the
Don't foul them,
potential
just
corner.
Get after them, make them kick it long.
McLean under pressure from Fernandes, and another goal that McTominay wants it, so Vitinha will race away. Say Lewis Morgan's doing well in MLS at the moment. Ryan Gauld also, he's over at Vancouver Whitecaps, remember. 9 goals, 14 assists for him. He's a creative spark, and that's what many Scotland fans have been crying out for. Lewis Morgan on the right-hand side for Scotland. He's taking Christie's place. He plays through the middle for New York Red Bulls. It's another potential option there for Steve Clarke should things develop that way. Vitinha with zip for Bernardo Silva. Cancelo. Gilmore away, but only to Leao. Here's Mendes. Young Antonio Silva 20-year-old centre-half, making the centre-back position his own for his country, alongside one of his boyhood heroes, Ruben Diaz. Cancelo. Portugal looking to pick their moment here, pick the Scottish lock. Silva. Neves for Mendes. Fernandes again. Cancelo's cross. And that is a Scottish goal kick.
Yeah, every Scotland player 35 yards for their own goal there. Defending as a team, getting forced into a back five, back six. Forced them to cross the ball and try and deal with it, and thankfully crossed out the pitch. But now we've got the ball. Let's see if we can create ourselves.
Oh, Gilmore daring Ronaldo to get in the end of that. Craig Gordon bolts out his net to save the day. Well, the big man knows the rules. Less than 20 of normal time. Portugal playing the entirety in Scotland's half here. Cancelo.
It's tight through the centre. Scotland showing them wide. Gould's now been sank back into a back with the position of Cancelo, sank back into a back five, which allows Portugal to have complete control. He's scared to jump out because Bernardo's inside him as well, which is occupying Andy Robertson.
Cancelo.
It's not a place you want to be as a Scotland player. It's difficult. You feel that you can't get out. Every player 35 yards to the goal.
Cancelo looking for the return. Oh, and he's got there ahead of Robertson. Gould gets in the way. Silva. And Ralston sees it behind. And dare I say, Andy Robertson breathes a little sigh of relief as well. Third place in the Nations League group means a playoff against a team that finishes second in League B, which at the moment could be England. Sitterfield. Scotland can finish level on points with Poland, even if they lose their next two games narrowly, assuming Poland do as well. It's decided on head-to-head first, so if Scotland were to go to Poland and win by a couple of goals, they would finish level on points and ahead on a head-to-head basis. Might not be enough to keep Scotland in pot 3 for the upcoming World Cup qualifying draw, though. Scotland need to hope that they can catch Slovenia and then one of Czech Republic and Norway, which is a bit tricky considering Norway and Slovenia play each other in the Nations League, so only one of them will lose potentially the required amount of points that Scotland need them to for them to be subsequently caught. It's going for Gould. He gives it to Adams. Morgan's caught up. It's towards Adams. It's down for McTominay. And it won't sit for Gould. And Portugal will look to hit Scotland when it hurts now with Vitinha. That sounds perfect for Leal. What a pass.
They get back.
I know it's tracking him. Vitinha arrives.
Well done.
But McLean is there.
Could Che Adams have went for that himself on target? I don't know why he's heading it back. I need to see it again, but surely just get it down on the wet grass and make the keeper work.
Leao again, breezing away from Ralston. And that's a Portuguese corner.
Back across him down. You've got to head it back across him down. It's a great chance for Che Adams. I don't know why he's heading it back the way. It's unselfish, but a bit too unselfish for me. It's a good chance.
And Portugal makes Scotland pay. It suggests Scotland have had clearer chances this evening against Portugal than they did at the weekend against Croatia.
Yeah, definitely had some clear-cut chances tonight. Great opportunities. There's Ryan Christie's half volley. McTominay, big point-blank header, should have scored. And then Che Adams he's got to go for goal for me. The only way you head that back is if you're certain somebody's going to tap it in. If not, you've got to go for goal. Head it down in the wet grass and make the keeper save it. Might bounce to one of your players.
Silva's in behind, the flag stays down. And Gilmore, wow, keeps his cool and then some.
This is the problem though. Scotland get the ball now and every one of their players are 20 yards to go. It's a miracle. Che Adams done unbelievable there.
And Ryan Gauld asking Lewis Morgan to keep up, and Ralston's in behind. The flag stays down for Scotland this time. McTominay's in the box. Oh, and it's got a yard too much.
That's unlucky, that.
Still alive for Scott McTominay. And it's well defended by Antonio Silva.
Just a bit too much on it for Ralston. Can see exactly what he's going to do. The whole stadium can see the pass he's going to make. Great ball down the side, and he just tries to find McTominay. It's just a bit. Can McTominay slide? I don't know.
Diaz sliding in. I think would have intercepted it had it been any softer.
Yeah, he's just tried to feed it in between the goalkeeper and the defence, and McTominay just not quite got there. Great play to get out of that corner there. 10 players, 20 yards for the goal, and all of a sudden one pass, two passes, and we're down the side. Good play. We're now in a back six. Morgan's been forced back, Gall's been forced back. 6-3-1.
There's Cancelo seeing plenty of the ball.
What a pass
for Silva. And Robertson keen to get it away more quickly than Billy Gilmore was. Che Adams is an isolated man up there now. It's Cancelo. Toys with Gauld. Robertson reads it well. Falls apart as McLean sees it picked off by Mendes, and Lewis Morgan simply outnumbered. Cancelo. Coutinho invited forward, Hanley in the way. Neves, no stranger to a strike from distance, goes wide again, and Gordon catches. Whether it's Conceição or Cancelo, Portugal are keen down this Scottish left.
Yeah, as I said, Cancelo's flying down the outside, Bernardo Silva's going inside majority of the time. It's difficult to deal with for Scotland, but they're actually dealing with the cross balls well. There's either crossing into Craig Gordon's arms, they're clearing it, or they're crossed it behind the goal. Looks like Dyke's about to come on. Straight swap for Che Adams, I'd imagine.
Che Adams has divided opinion over the last year for Scotland. He's put in a good shift tonight. It's at this rate, just over 10 of the 90 to go. Thanks may allow Scotland to keep the ball in opposition territory for slightly longer. It's the counter-attack or bust at the moment. Robertson blinded by the floodlights. Cancelo, always the target. Since Bernardo Silva came on, he's drifted infield. Cancelo's the one hugging the touchline now after Conceição's departure. Leao. For Ruben Neves. Mendes and Bruno Fernandes leaping between the lines.
Scotland are eyeing space in front of the 18-yard box, and no space behind it either. Just that tight block moving as a unit.
There's another cross, which is well met by John Souttar.
Souttar and Hanley have been brilliant defending that box tonight.
John Souttar fully fit, 90 minutes every week at Rangers now. Grant Hanley's fallen out of the Norwich team. Only 2 minutes of action in the Championship this season for Grant Hanley. They're doing what's asked of them so far. As Vitinha goes wide again, can Scotland hold off the Portuguese? Comes to Ronaldo, who thinks once, hits twice. It's the first true sight of goal he's had since his header. Ruben Diaz has talked himself into the book. Unsure if they're claiming for a corner or a handball here.
I think he's looking for a corner.
Definitely no handball. Still no joy for Ronaldo on his Hampden debut, as Shea Adams is off to be replaced by Lyndon Dykes, who knows how to mix it. Will Silva and Diaz have a complicated final 10 as Scotland aim to hold on and maybe snatch a winner. McTominay outthought Silva, pressing forward. Hanley away, not for the first time. McTominay happy to hear the whistle.
Good play there, great ball for Ralston. McTominay just can't secure it, and Portugal break.
Scotland haven't beaten Portugal since a qualifier 1980. A draw this evening and a clean sheet, I think, would send everybody away feeling like the run that Scotland have been on has been stopped despite the one win, and it would be 16 remaining. Now there's context this evening that is unignorable.
I'd like to see Scotland press up here and keep them in. Well done.
Dykes in.
Go long.
Almost falls from McTominay.
Then we'll get the ball.
Gilmore so comfortable there. And Ralston aiming for McTominay. Dykes the wrong side and Costa claims. There's João Felix. Another £50 million star in the Portuguese ranks, now at Chelsea permanently. As Leao collects, loads of space this time. Morgan narrows the angle. But it's opened up now for the Milan winger. And Vitinha sees a shot blocked by Suter.
What a player Vitinha is.
Here's Silva. Cancelo one hand as always. Fernandes teasing. Behind it goes, that's a Portugal corner. Bernardo Silva arriving where he's not welcome as far as Scotland are concerned. Time of the essence for Roberto Martinez's side as well. Silva again. Cancelo, first time. Diaz. Vitinha for Mendes, Diaz. Ronaldo. Leao stays on sides. They're queuing up for Portugal here. Goalless away and Dykes something else on it. Vitinha, a driving force for Portugal. Leao, all Scottish hands on deck. Leao through, Gordon saves magnificently.
What a save. Leao's been brilliant on that left-hand side, causing issues. What a save that is.
And it could have gone anywhere after the initial contact. But Craig Gordon smothers that like his life depends on it.
Screwed Ralston into the deck there. Somebody will need to unscrew him.
Well, somebody has run on the park. I assume they're heading straight for Cristiano Ronaldo. And again, look how close. You can see on the screen at the moment, look how closely these invaders get to the players before something is done about it. It's insane. Portuguese subs inbound. Semedo and João Felix. Vitinha heading off, as is João Cancelo. I'll take this moment, Charlie, to ask you who you would have as your man of the match from a Scottish perspective as well.
I'm going to say John Suter. I think he's been composed on the ball. He's tried to get his plane and he's defended the box very well. John Suter for me.
Scotland changes coming here, and it's a debut for Aberdeen right back Nicky Devlin, who replaces Anthony Ralston. What a moment for Nicky Devlin, who's got himself here the hard way, now embedded in an unbeaten Aberdeen side this season. He spells at Levy, Walsall, Dumbarton, released by Stenhousemuir a decade ago, and now tasked with helping Scotland see out this game for a valuable point.
Yeah, fair play to Nicky Devlin. I've played against him many a time. Played against him when he was at Walsall and Aberdeen and Livingston. Really deserves his opportunity. Right good player. You don't really get a lot of Scottish players that are really quick, and he is really quick. He's a powerful, gets something down, kind of right back, joins in the attacks, defends well. Yeah, fair play him.
There's Semedo, late sub for Portugal. read well by Ryan Gould. He's playing out of position for Scotland. He's central playmaker over in Vancouver, as he was in Portugal as well, in a spell with Ferenc.
He spent the majority of this game at left back. If you look now, he's stuck at left back, following the full back.
Devlin has Leao not too far away, but he's advised that will skip behind. How slowly will these 4 minutes go by for Scottish players and fans inside Hampden? Dykes on. Too far from Gould. He'll now scurry to his left back hybrid area. And one has gone by like that. Felix. Neves. For Nelson Semedo. Every angle being explored here. Every avenue trying to be shut off by the Scots. It comes through for Leao. This could be it. Unbelievable block from Nicky Devlin.
Brilliant for Nicky Devlin.
Everything on the line for Scotland.
Brilliant. Great block that. Feared the worst there. Everybody get attracted to Ronaldo there. Yeah, was he sell at the back post?
Half of the added time has elapsed. Portugal pushing, pressing with everything they have. McTominay away. Silva. Cleared to Leao. Neves. The Portuguese are patient. And that's a Scotland free kick. Gilmore took a sore one in the build-up as well. And Ronaldo not too happy about that. You might have just missed on your screen. Knocking the ball with a petulant little flick.
Scotland defended their box so well tonight. They've had numbers in there, they've put their bodies in the line, they've made first contacts, they've made blocks when they had to. Saves, Craig Gordon even makes a great save there. Brilliant defending as a team for cross balls and defending the box.
A goal in the last minute against Scotland in Lisbon. The winner against Croatia, the second goal against Poland at the weekend, but nothing for Ronaldo this evening, not yet. Dykes, brilliant control for Gould.
Brilliant for Dykes.
McLean through for Gould.
Come on,
There's got to be one last Scottish effort here as Robertson crosses in for Dykes. Picked up by Gilmore. Gould, prodded for Robertson. Has his old United teammate there for company. Gould with the drop of the shoulder. It hasn't gone out of play. Semedo thumps clear. Leao sees it to Felix. And this is ominous for Scotland here. Silva. This will surely be the... Can he collect? He did collect in time, but there's no time for the resulting corner. The full-time whistle goes. And that will do for some encouragement among the Tartan army. Portugal held at arm's length at Hampden. A clean sheet against one of the greatest goal scorers of all time.
fine.
Bodies were on the line in the final 10-15.
Ronaldo's not happy with the refs, look. Absolutely raging.
He wants that corner to have been taken. Understandably, the 4 minutes had elapsed by the time the ball crossed the line. And Scotland have done more than enough to quell this seriously threatening Portuguese team. Probably the only time Cristiano Ronaldo will ever play at Hampden Park. No goals for one of the greatest we've ever seen. But for Scotland, it was resolute, it was organised, it was encouraging, it was everything that many fans have wanted to see, Charlie Mulgrew.
Yeah, great result. Defended, didn't see it coming, to be honest. I said before the game we couldn't keep clean sheets, not even close to it. Today, great clean sheet. That's the defenders and the players that defended the box, goalkeeper, midfielders that were lying deep can be so proud of their performance today in terms of defensive side of things. We didn't offer much off the ball, although we did have some good chances in the break, and we had a couple of spells in possession. You'd hope for a bit more than that, but listen, we can be proud of that performance in terms of resilience and putting our bodies in the line and defending the box. And we had a couple of chances as well. Portugal didn't have an easy night. They couldn't break us down. They never had many clear-cut chances, maybe one or two, but nothing that had us on the ropes.
A point on the board in Group 1 of League A. Pot 2 for the World Cup draw is still possible. It might be unlikely, but it's still possible. But survival in League A is definitely possible for Scotland. Croatia here next in November before a trip to Poland. That will be vital. And we have to hope that Poland don't get a result against Portugal in their next meeting. But this is a Scotland team now taking, quite rightly, the acclaim of the home support. They may feel that if Scotland weren't on the right path before, they've taken a few steps on it tonight. There's your man of the match, John Souttar, wonderfully defending his goal alongside Grant Hanley, Ralston, Robertson and Devlin as well, and the others that had to sit back in midfield. Craig Gordon with a great save at the end too. And it finishes at Hampden. Fans will be going home a bit happier tonight. Scotland 0, Portugal 0.